How's it going, boys and girls? Welcome to episode 55 of the Sports Desk. I am Splash. I'm joined, as always, by Jack. Got the direction right this time. Definitely didn't pretend to do it to the other direction so I would get it right. How's it going, Jack?
Pretty good. I got to check out Space Jam finally last night for the first time, which is
Yeah, you said it
that
was the new one, right?
the new one. Yeah, that was an experience to say the least. There were a couple of funny moments though. I mean, it's a kids movie, so there's
Is LeBron a good actor?
Lamar. I thought he did all right. I thought he did fine.
Because I've seen him in was it Trainwreck? I think it was called Trainwreck. With
Trainwreck, yeah, I saw him in Trainwreck.
It was solid. It was solid.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not a huge fan of like athletes trying to turn to being actors and actresses. Like sometimes it's cool. Like
I guess it just depends.
It's a mixed bag. It can be a mixed bag. Some guys really have a knack for it. Like there's a reason there's like a Chris Collinsworth. I'm doing a broadcast angle for this rather than like movies specifically, but like there's a reason OJ worked. Like the charisma there, he really killed it. No reaction to that. That was my best joke I've ever said in 55 episodes.
I didn't realize it was a joke.
Oh my goodness. Really? What?
I wasn't paying attention, I guess.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. If you liked that joke, if you didn't like that joke, drop a like. If you did like that joke,
I get it.
If you did like that joke, drop a like. Make sure you follow. How's it going, Will? Awesome show. You guys really killed it today.
You whiffed those Super Bowl predictions, though.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Well, Jack and I will be disagreeing on our Super Bowl picks. I don't know by how much we will be disagreeing, but we will be disagreeing. I can assure you. So yeah, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at UStadium. Colton, make sure after you watch us, YouTube should have it loaded so you can watch the episode of the Play Action Pod. Will and Colton do an amazing job with it. I love the graphics they do. And Colton's a big Steelers fan, so if you like the Steelers, and Will is a huge Jets fan, so if you like the Jets and or the Steelers,
which I'm sure 90% of this app does.
Yeah, 90% of UStadium does. Also, make sure you ring a ding ding that Le'Veon Bell, that notification bell. Will and Colton know what I'm talking about there. Le'Veon Bell, of course, played for both of their franchises and mine, and the Bucs and the Chiefs. So congratulations, Le'Veon Bell. Ring a ding ding that Le'Veon Bell so you get notified when we go live, when I post tomorrow. I'm not going to spoil what the topic is, but I have a 20-minute video tomorrow, and it is pure passion. Like it is pure. I'm sitting in this chair, wearing this shirt, wearing this hat, looking at the camera like this. And I'm like staring into the camera with my most passionate voice for about 20 minutes. It is gold. Highly recommend. Come back tomorrow. Watch that when I upload it. I don't know, maybe 9 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be something special. And Jack and I have been working on some shorts, reels, TikTok kind of content. So we'll get
Quicks,
that up
I think is what we're calling it. So.
Yeah, you Quicks. So I'll have to change the name on the YouTube because we do have a playlist of shorts. I'll have to change it to You Quicks.
All right. We should dive in. Hot takes coming up first.
Yeah, let's go. I actually have the hot take-o-meter for once. What a time to be alive. And first off, we have one tonight. We have the rare basketball take on the app. Frankie, our boss man, says the Knicks going to beat the Heat at Miami tonight. He has 1,000 biggins on that. I actually don't have enough points to join it. So
how many points do you have?
An issue. I have 900 points. It is 1,000 points.
Okay, I have 8.2K. I've been on a roll as of late. So
nice. Yeah, see, I have a lot of. It's like kind of. It's almost like the stock market. Although my stocks have been absolutely horrendous. Oh my lord.
I'll talk about that. I never really made that comparison before, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll explain in the financial section that we have later in the hour. But I have a lot of points that are involved in takes that are like alive. Like the example I'll get to, I've answered the next like 5 or 6 takes, right? So I have thousands and thousands of points invested in takes, and they need to hit or get deleted or whatever. so I can get my points back. I don't know how I'm going to get 100 points in an hour because I have not given myself points and I will not give myself points. I do have the ability to, but I want it to be fair. I do not want to give myself points, so I will. I think the Heat do win tonight, by the way, but I will not, unless I magically have 100 points, I will not be joining that take.
All right. Well, I think since we're going to get into the preview of the championship Sunday, we should probably skip over Super Bowl related takes, but
yeah. So I have one actually. The Ravens will draft at least one University of Michigan player in the 2022 draft. So far, two people have agreed with me. We have a total of 414 points in the pot. What are you thinking, Jack?
I mean, that's I think it really depends on their needs and who's available at the time, but
agree.
It could happen.
Yeah,
I don't think it's really.
My mindset here is the Ravens draft a lot of Michigan guys. Last year they drafted Ben Mason, fullback, in the later rounds. They've drafted Ben Bredesen. He was a guard out of Michigan. Of course, Harbaugh's brother Jim coaches at Michigan, so there's
I was gonna say there might be like a brotherly connection there somehow.
Oh yeah, and guess who might be the defensive coordinator of the Ravens next year? Oh, that's right, the defensive coordinator of Michigan. So, I'm totally blanking on his first name.
How many picks do the Ravens have this year?
The Ravens actually have a lot of picks. They are in the top 10 in terms of draft capital, despite having the number 14 pick. They have a second, 2/3, I believe, maybe actually 3/3. I think they have their third, a comp pick because of the David Culley thing, and another comp pick from Judon, I think, and then they have like 5 or 6 like 4th and 5th round picks. So they have a ton of picks later in the draft. But okay, Mike McDonald, that's right. Thank you, Colton. I just was blanking on his first name because I know it's like an M, McDonald, but I just couldn't blank it. Go Blue. Absolutely. Wish they had put up a better fight against Georgia. So there's some big news with the Ravens, actually. You go get Mike McDonald. He ran a 4.25 last year or in 2021 with Michigan. We might have a changing of the guard in the AFC North. Like we might have the Ravens have been predominantly a 3-4 team in their history. So you have the 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers. They might change to a 4-3 this year. And I'm all for it. I think it puts Patrick Queen in better situations. I think it puts Justin Madubuike in better situations. Broderick Washington, Odafe Oweh, whoever you draft at 14. I'm thinking David Ojabo, edge out of Michigan. He makes a lot of sense at 14. Actually, ironically enough, we'll have more draft content over the offseason, but David Ojabo and Odafe Oweh are carbon copies of each other. And it's funny that Oweh, they went to the same high school, and Oweh started playing football, and Ojabo saw Oweh playing football and was like good friends with, as far as I'm aware, good friends with Oweh. They both have Nigerian descent. They had a lot of things in common. And Ojabo's like, well, if this guy, similar body types as well, this guy can develop and go to Penn State, I can go play football too. And he started playing football in 2017, and he had like 25 snaps heading into 2021, and he was absolutely unreal in 2021 across from Hutchinson. So yes, he was playing across from Hutchinson, but Ojabo has pass rush moves. He is not Odafe Oweh was picked 31 because he is a edge that can run a 4.3. Like that is
that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, he could play. He was the gunner in some of our preseason games as an edge. Ojabo is as athletic, but he actually has pass rush moves. But he only played serious college football for 1 year, so that's why he's not Hutchinson conversation, Thibodeau conversation, even Karlaftis conversation. So I'd be thrilled with Ojabo. I'd be thrilled with Tyler Linderbaum. I'd be thrilled trading up and getting Kyle Hamilton. I'm super excited for draft season, but I do think we end up taking a Michigan player, whether it's Ojabo at 14 or a little earlier, maybe you trade up, whether it's Daxton Hill, end of round 1, early round 2, or whether it's a guy, a random player later in the draft, because there is that Michigan, that Harbaugh connection.
Just some long snapper from Michigan or something.
We actually have a pretty good long snapper, Nick Moore. So I don't like drafting long snappers.
I don't like
actually. I'm not a huge fan of drafting special teamers. And
Yeah, I
usually,
was about to say, like, special
work.
teams, it doesn't really tend, like, I experienced it last year. We wasted a draft pick on Sam Sloman. I don't even know where he is right now.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was disgusting.
Yes, Evan McPherson is awesome, but you have to look at all of the other, like, McPherson.
You have to really hit if you're going to use draft capital to
if
get a kicker.
If you draft a kicker or punter or long snapper, you have to hit. It is a requirement. You have to.
It's a must.
Like, if you could have a Roberto Aguayo situation, that think of all the second and third round picks the Bucs could have had if they didn't draft Roberto Aguayo and they had just waited and gotten an undrafted kicker. Now, it is circumstantial evidence that the most accurate kicker in NFL history is undrafted, Justin Tucker. But I don't know. I don't like drafting kickers, punters, and long snappers or return specialists during the draft. I would prefer to...
I think
because NFL teams don't even know how the kickers work. It takes dozens and dozens, even sometimes up to 100 kicks before you figure out, oh, yeah, this guy's actually pretty good, right? Like Younghoe Koo being actually good is a new revelation, right? He's been, I don't think he's made a Pro Bowl the last 2 years. Maybe he was a Pro Bowler in 2020, but he's been awesome the last 2 years. But you just figure that out now because he's had like a sizable number of kicks. He was awful with the Chargers, but now he's like really good. So I think that's the problem teams run into, is that you don't know if a kicker is going to be good until they are in the NFL and kicking for 5, 6, 7 years. Right. So like Tucker as a rookie, oh, well, is he good? Yes, of course he is. But then he had a perfect playoff run, word to McPherson, that maybe you think you found a kicker, and 7, 8 years down the road, oh yeah, that Tucker's going to be a Hall of Famer one day. So that's my thing with kickers, is that having a great one is awesome, but there's like, how many difference makers are there at the kicker position? Like, how many kickers, if you gave them 50 field goals in a season, how many
would make all 50?
Well, not even that, but how many are making every kick when it matters? And there's a handful of guys that are like super clutch, but the only kicker that like delivers every single time, it seems like, it's Justin Tucker. And that is, PFF has beautiful breakdown of this. They do wonderful stuff with kickers, punters, and special teamers. Actually, it's honestly better than like quarterback stuff they do sometimes. But I go look at the kicker stuff, and it's Justin Tucker in a league of his own, and then everyone else is like clumped together. So unless you're getting Justin Tucker, there is not a huge difference between like kicker 2 and kicker 10. Like Boswell, Butker, Matt Gay, Koo, McPherson, like the second best kicker in the NFL could be like 8 different dudes. We know Tucker's one, and then the second best kicker, there's like 8 guys that are like A tier kicker. That's awesome. I love seeing good kickers across the league.
For sure.
And then you have the S tier Justin Tucker. And there's not a huge difference between Younghoe Koo and Evan McPherson, or McPherson and Boswell, or Boswell and Butker, or Jake Elliott. He's very good, and Matt Gay, he's awesome. Daniel Carlson was very good this season. So there's like 10 kickers that are within like a percentage of each other. So like if you're making, I don't know, between 80 and 95% of your kicks every year, you're a very good kicker. Robbie Gould, I think you can throw him in that as well. He's never missed a kick in the playoffs, which is just unreal because he's played in Chicago for a chunk of his career. It's like even Tucker is
Bears fans. Kicks. You mentioned kickers around Bears fans, and they get PTSD.
Oh my god! Did you know that Robbie Gould is a one-time All-Pro?
Wow.
Yeah, 2006 All-Pro kicker. That's wild. And the Bears went to the Super Bowl that year. So, speaking of, we're going to skip the Super Bowl ones, but we will talk about a team that was good in 2006, the New Orleans Saints. Sean Payton out. We'll discuss that more later. But Thug and M has a take. He says the Saints hire.
Lengthy one here.
Yeah. The Saints hire current defensive coordinator Dennis Allen as head coach, keep Pete Carmichael as the offensive coordinator, and promote either current defensive backs coach Chris Richards, who is a popular Ravens defensive coordinator name, or current defensive line coach Ryan Neal. 3,800 points available. $9.50 to join. I like it. I think this is what we want with takes, is that you're not just picking the right head coach, because you can just put odds on that, or you can go on my bookie and get your deposit doubled. If you think that it's going to be Dennis Allen, or you think it's going to be Jim Harbaugh, or you think Peyton's going to like do a 180 and come back, or if you think they're going to go get someone else. So I like this. You hammer down the head coach, Dennis Allen, who had a terrific year as the DC. Pete Carmichael, solid offensive coordinator. It's just a talent thing on offense. And then Richards was very good with Dallas, and he was good with the Saints this year. And Ryan Neal has been effective for them as well. So
sure,
I don't know. I like it.
It's a lot. It's a lot of hiring from within, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, I think there's like a right mix of hiring from within. You really have to hit the right people there, because sometimes it's valuable to do that. For example, Mike McDonald is not technically an internal hire, but he's essentially one because he was with the organization from 2014 to 2020. Also, keep an eye on Mike McDonald as the next head coach of the Ravens. If John Harbaugh retires or goes elsewhere at some point, keep an eye on Mike McDonald. He might be the next head coach of the Ravens. So we have a couple more Super Bowl ones. All right. 5th and goal. Friend of the show says an offensive tackle is the number 1 pick in the 2022 NFL draft.
Why do I forget what that guy's name is? The one that a lot of people are like taking at number 1 in the mock draft.
Evan Neal from Alabama. There's Ikem Ekwonu, who I like a lot, out of NC State. Although I think he's more of a guard. Could be a guard day one. I think he could be a.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say Quentin Nelson, but he is a people mover. I was listening to a PFF podcast yesterday, and they called him Kaleki Osemele, former Ravens Super Bowl champion, actually, was also with the Chiefs, Raiders. Devastating blocker, but he was a guard. But he did play some tackle. So I think that's a fun one. I do think if you're the Jags at 1, you need to prioritize pass blocking over run blocking. So you need to get left tackle hit. So they might go with even a Charles Cross. That was a great point by PFF, that you need the scheme fit, right? Because you have Trevor Lawrence as your golden goose, and you have some pieces around him, James Robinson, Travis Etienne, etc. So you need to get other applicable pieces around him. So I disagree. I think they go edge, but offensive tackle is super valuable too.
I think if you would have just put offensive line, maybe I would have agreed with it. I think offensive tackle might be a little bit too like. I want to say it's a little bit too narrow of a position to take, like in terms of this take. Like, who knows who they're going to pick in the draft? It just depends on.
And I guess it does depend how you view Ekwonu, because I've seen Ekwonu go number 1 a couple times. But if you think he's a guard, well, he's probably not going 1 if he's considered a guard. But I don't know. I think it's really Neal. Neal's probably what he's going for, but it could be Ekwonu. It could be Charles Cross. Cross has a wide range of outcomes. He could be 20. I've had him he could be as high as 1, could be as low as 20, maybe 22.
Yeah.
So I do think that's fun. Staying with the Jaguars theme, Jazz Viloa says Byron Leftwich will be hired as the next Jaguars head coach.
I like it. I like this one. I think there seems to be a lot of connections that are going on. Byron Leftwich's name is being brought up a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, at this point, you'd rather take anybody who isn't named Urban Meyer.
Right. What about Rural Meyer? Would you take him?
That's a good question.
It's Urban Meyer with a mustache. Like a bushy mustache. Like a comically large mustache.
So like their team owner, Shad Khan.
Yes. Or what about Suburban Meyer, who has like a huge Eric Weddle beard?
Oh boy.
Yeah, the Byron Leftwich, 1,000 points to enter. 8 agrees, 1 disagree. I am the disagree.
Who do you got then?
I don't know. That is the glorious part with the takes, that I don't have to pick a guy. I can just say it's not going to be Byron Leftwich.
Yeah, I don't know who it's going to be, but I can tell you it's not that guy. That's pretty much.
Yeah, it's like with the offensive tackle one. I don't know if it's going to be Hutchinson. I don't know if it's going to be Thibodeau. It could be Kyle Hamilton. I don't think they're going to take a safety one, but I just don't think it's going to be an offensive tackle. It doesn't matter if it's a quarterback. They're not going to take a quarterback, but it doesn't matter if it's a different. God. They could take Linderbaum at 1, bad positional value. They could take Hamilton at 1, bad positional value. They could take Karlaftis at 1, and this would hit. They could take any number of players. We'll do 2 more. Tiksa, The United States will win one of the next 3 World Cups.
You know what? I don't know if they're going to do it this year, but you never know down the road.
That is true. This is a World Cup year. I don't know how well they're cracking on in qualifying, but
I think let me actually check that out really quick. U.S. World Cup qualifying.
I am going to have to disagree, though. I think there's like the seeds have been planted for a good United States team moving forward because 2018 was a disaster. The United States cannot miss a World Cup. That is,
they
cannot
missed it. They lost to Trinidad and Tobago, or Tobago, however you pronounce that.
Yep. To miss the World Cup.
Miss the World Cup. Let me take a look at the qualifiers.
I don't know. That one just will forever rub me the wrong way. The United States cannot miss the World Cup.
That angered me.
It's like Italy and the Netherlands both missed that World Cup, but I understand because there's lots and lots of good European competition. And sometimes you get a bad draw. Sometimes you get a bad draw and you play a red hot, I don't know, Sweden, right? Or you play a red hot Hungary or Austria. There's like 25 World Cup caliber teams in Europe every qualifying cycle. There's 3 in CONCACAF. Mexico, every single qualifier, they're going to make it. The United States, and then you pick your third one, whether that's Costa Rica or it could be Panama, it could be Honduras, could be Jamaica, depending on what the year it is. You have the 2 locks, and then you have like a rotating third slot, and then the 4th slot is an intercontinental qualifier.
Yeah. So the U.S. is currently in the final round of qualifying. They're second in their group behind Canada. Both teams have played 8. Canada's 4-4-0, and U.S. is 4-3-1. So
really,
they're there.
I think Canada might be the 3rd team for the future. They have had a lot of talent come through the ranks. The most notable, of course, is Alphonso Davies, who I believe still plays at Bayern. So I would actually love to have a soccer podcast on the network at some point. I don't know who I would get to be on that, but who knows?
I watch MLS.
Yeah,
that's something, but nobody else really seems to care about that. But I mean, I'm still kicking doing that. Still kicking soccer.
It happens. And
By
my
the
foot
way,
is asleep, so it feels like I don't know what kind. I don't know what pain is anymore.
By the way, before we move on to the last take, I'm going to take this time to shamelessly plug the Madden 22 World Cup style tournament we're going to be doing. That's going to be fun. That's going to be really fun. We're going to take all the NFL teams, throw them into groups, throw them in the bracket, and just go nuts.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. It's going to be because the World Cup this year is in the fall or winter in Qatar. So we're going to have a lot of fun there. We're going to have a ton of summer content. And heck, we could do I don't know what we're going to format it as, but we could do a bunch of iterations. Like we could do like the 2021 rosters. We could do if we can figure out how to get like, I don't know,
all-time
like
teams.
All-time teams. We could do like the 2000 Ravens instead of like the current Ravens, and then the 07 Patriots get in there, the 85 Bears. Like that would be awesome to do if we could pull that off. So lots of fun. Make sure you stay tuned over the off season. We do not stop when the NFL season stops. No bueno.
We don't slow down. We
roll on.
All gas, no brakes, as the Jets like to say.
Yeah, all gas, no brakes. We should get to 100 episodes by the end of the year. How do you feel about that? 100. That is insane.
100 episodes. I started doing these shows on a crappy little laptop, and now here we are.
Uh-huh.
I have like this whole
air traffic controller.
Yeah, air traffic controller.
Yep. And then I had my Apple headphones like this, and then I slowly moved it in front of my mouth so it sounded a little bit better, and now I have a Yeti.
Nice. I'm planning on maybe getting rid of this pop filter soon, but we'll see. Who
knows?
All right.
One final take. This is from friend of the show, Baskerville. Tom Brady will play another season with the Buccaneers.
2,500 points are currently on this one. Everyone has agreed. I'm going to be honest. I might agree. I think if Tom Brady does choose to retire, I think he goes one more year, just one. He'll announce this as like this is his farewell season next year. Everybody's going to know it's coming.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think that's a very likely possibility if Tom Brady, of course, chooses to play this season. He might not.
I think he
But
will. I think he will play again. I think he will return with the Bucs. Of course, he is a free agent. I believe he's a free agent. He signed
I
a
think
2-year,
so.
$50 million deal to come down to Tampa, and then he's ended his second year. I don't know if there was any like language in his contract that would give him like a third year, but as of right now, he is a free agent. He is available to sign anywhere. Um, Interesting. Colton says he's not a drama guy though to announce he's in his final year. I I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I do think
It would be appropriate, I
yeah,
feel
I
like.
do think Brady is a very I I'm trying to put this in like nice terms. Like he's very much aware of how he's viewed. He's very much like an image focused guy. That's what like the TB12 brand, all this, that, the other. He's very much aware of how he is viewed. So if he wants to go out and he looks at what Ben did with the Steelers, he looks at what Peyton did in 2015, and I think look, I'm not opposed. The Bucks do play the Ravens this year. I believe it's at Ray J. Is it at Ray J? Yeah, it's at Ray J because we played Carolina in Carolina and Atlanta in Atlanta in 2018. Anyways, I should have gone to that game, the Ravens and Falcons game. Lamar played. Got injured though. I'd be
Unfortunate.
more than happy to like stand
See
up and
Tom
clap,
Rainey.
when I'm in the U Stadium headquarters in September, October, November, December, whenever, and like clap for Brady. Because I do want to see like a farewell send off. And that's something that one of Boston's legends, David Ortiz, congratulations on making the Hall of Fame, by the way. David Ortiz got like a farewell tour. He lit it up. He was one of the best hitters in baseball his final season. But he said, my time has come. But at the same time, I think Brady is a guy that also could run until the wheels fall off, right? If he plays at an MVP level again, he's played at an MVP level in both 20 and 21.
He played at
Why
an
would he
MVP
retire?
level last season, not this current season, last season, and won the Super Bowl. And then they found out he did all that on a torn MCL.
Yep.
Like, what?
Yeah.
The fact that he was even playing, like, take the torn MCL out of the equation. The fact that he was doing what he was doing at his age is just ridiculous. And then he was hurt the whole time, too. Like, what? Just
Yeah, Baskey's right. It might be 5 more years because the
could
thing
be.
with Brady, as opposed to other quarterbacks and other players at different positions, even like Andrew Whitworth is probably not going to play until he's 50. But with Brady and the style of quarterback play that he has, that it's like what Ben Roethlisberger was doing this year, but actually good. Like if that makes sense. So like the
Yeah.
quick game and just chemistry. And like the arm talent is still there. Brady can rip it, as Jalen Ramsey understood Sunday afternoon. How does Jalen Ramsey, the NFL's best cornerback, get torched by Mike Evans?
I'm going to blame it on the turf because everybody was slipping. And that's just what I'm going to blame it on. Although I don't think he slipped on that play. That was just a fantastic freaking throw.
Yeah.
I mean,
Brady can still rip it. And
who is it that said you can't
scary.
defend a perfect pass?
I think a lot of people have said that.
A lot of people. I don't remember who originally. I want to say it was Dan Marino who first said it. I can't remember who the original quote was, but that was just one of those cases. Like, just
that's
fantastic pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and of course, Stafford
perfectly placed. Evans just gets by Ramsey. Evans is awesome. See, it might be 5 more years. It's kind of like that LeBron thing of LeBron.
You're 19. You see what he just did yesterday?
Yeah, he's unreal.
My goodness.
Jake and I are going to have our basketball show Friday, but is it like we are having the same? Is this the best version of LeBron? We've been having this conversation for 14 years. 15. This is ludicrous. There's awesome
ridiculous.
NBA players. There's the Jokic and Embiid. They've been awesome. Giannis, of course, Durant. But then you look at LeBron and it's like year in, year out, he's averaging 27, 7, and 7. He's putting his team in a position to win as many games as humanly possible. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. And it's just absolutely ridiculous what he does. I'll get to Colton's last comment. I hope he goes one more. He's the GOAT. He deserves a send-off. I think I'm torn. I don't know if he's going to announce this is his final season and have like a farewell tour. But at the same time,
I'll agree that he deserves it. For a guy like Tom Brady, I think he
100% deserves it.
absolutely
100% deserves it. Like, he deserves the Mariano Rivera, David Ortiz, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger treatment. And
sure.
I 100%. They have a good thing going in Tampa. I can't see Tom passing on that for at least one more year. I agree. But I do think Tampa, they have to hit on their first round pick this year. I would go wide receiver and get a number 2 running man with Mike Evans. I
know for a fact I don't think Tampa's going to get everybody back this year.
No.
Like
Antonio Brown is obviously gone. Chris Godwin's probably leaving in free agency. Defense should be mostly intact. You will have to pay like Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean coming up. Okay. And Baskey agrees that he's not the send-off type. Yeah, I think it's fair.
Yeah,
I do think he's more of a wheels falling off guy than a... Because he was still ripping it. He was like okay in the or okay against the Rams. He turned it on later in the game. So I don't know. I would, if I'm the Bucs, he's absolutely like, he's still a top 5 quarterback. Sorry about that last year. I said he wasn't a top 5 quarterback. I will take the L on that one. He's still up there. He's still elite. You know, the 90 PFF grade, whatever metrics you want to use, he's still among the elite of the elite. So yeah, Brady's had an unbelievable career, and I think it will continue at least one more season.
All right. So we should dive in to this recap because, oh my goodness, did we have we put it in the title. Like, this is very much probably the best playoff football weekend, if not ever, at least in recent memory. Like, my Lord.
This is like combining like iconic games into the same weekend. Like, sometimes you get years that you don't even have like an iconic playoff game, right? So like, think 2020. What was the best playoff game of 2020? Like,
I can't even think of one.
The Super Bowl was bad.
The Super Bowl was not great.
The Chiefs controlled the Bills. Packers Bucks was pretty good.
It was okay.
Saints Bucks was not good. Rams was
that one
meh.
was
Rams Seahawks was horrendous. Saints Bears was even worse. Bucks and R words is pretty fun. Then like AFC, Ravens Titans was all right. Bills Colts was a good game. Steelers Browns was on crack. That was honestly probably the best game. Sorry, Colton, but that was probably the best. That was the most like these divisional round games. Browns Chiefs was very good. Browns Chiefs was very good. And then the Bills Ravens was kind of a dud when Lamar went out. I think that one had some potential to be really good if either Lamar is in the game or if he didn't throw a pick 6. If anyone bloody tackles Teron Johnson before he runs 100+ yards. See, okay, I'm going to go on a soapbox here. The issue when people are after that game, when they compared Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, they said, oh, well, Lamar threw a pick 6. Josh Allen didn't make any mistakes. No, you're an idiot. You are blind. Allen made a mistake. His team bailed him out. Lamar made a mistake. His team didn't know how to tackle someone. Okay, so let me take you back. So second quarter, I believe, Josh Allen and the Bills have like a 3rd and long from midfield. Awesome. Allen gets whacked, loses the football. That's bad. But guess what? Oh, one of his guys recovers, and then Bojorquez pins the Ravens deep. So Allen makes a mistake, has a turnover-worthy play, sucks balls for a play, and the Bills bail him out, right? This would be the same thing as him throwing it into quintuple coverage, and Diggs just happens to knock the ball down. The Bills didn't lose jack squat on that play, even though Allen had a fundamentally bad play. All right. Then you go to the Lamar pick 6. Okay. The play before, Tyree Phillips totally whiffs on a block. Jerry Hughes, I believe it was Hughes. Hughes comes unblocked. Lamar misses a wide open receiver because he's about to get popped by a 260-pound edge. Awesome. Next play, Lamar throws it into the middle of the end zone, intercepted Teron Johnson. Okay, cool. Tackle him. The Ravens had 11 men on the field. None of them realized, let's tackle the ball carrier. So the one play that Allen royally screwed up didn't hurt the Bills in the slightest. The one play that Lamar screwed up, no one on his team helped him out. No one on the team brought him down because in any other circumstance, let's say he gains like 20 yards. Okay, the Bills scored 10 offensive points in that game. They are not going to walk down the field and score. They did miss 2 field goals, but so did the Ravens, oddly enough. So are the Bills going to score on that drive? The rest of the game says probably not. So that situation, instead of it being a 10-3 game, makes it 17-3. So you have to go down and score 2 touchdowns. And then Lamar gets hurt on the next drive. So coming out of that game, I thought Lamar and Allen were pretty much the same, right? They played at a similar level. They both made one catastrophic error. Allen's didn't happen to matter at all because his own offensive line recovered the fumble. Lamar's mattered a lot because no one on his team knew how to tackle, which is still true to this day. So I think there's context involved, and people totally whiffed on the context there that, oh, Josh Allen didn't turn the ball over. He was so good. No, he wasn't. He was trash in that game. He was not very good. He led this offense to 10 points. They missed 2 field goals. Congratulations. Oh, Labooty Cheeks Jackson. Oh, 3 points, also missed 2 field goals, and he led them into the red zone there. And if one of his bloody offensive linemen makes a block, guess what? It's 10 points on the scoreboard for both teams, and both teams missed 2 field goals. It would have been 16-16, both quarterbacks on the same level. Are you actually having a laugh, folks? Okay, off my soapbox.
That was like 2 years ago, and you went off about that. Or not 2 years ago, but you get the idea.
2 seasons ago now.
2 seasons ago, yes. So Bengals Titans. Let me open by saying this. How does a quarterback get sacked 9 times and still win the game?
It doesn't happen often. I believe McNabb did it maybe with the 04 Eagles. That sounds about right, when they were making the NFC title game every year with Reed. Yeah, Burrow was pretty good when he wasn't getting sacked.
Yeah, when he wasn't getting sacked, I thought he was fine. He's just,
like getting sacked 9 times. He ended up with like 340 yards. I think like half of which came after he gets sacked, and then you have a 3rd and 25, and like, okay, cool, whatever. So like Burrow was fine. It was McPherson was unreal. He was
McPherson carried them in that game.
Jamar Chase was awesome again. He's about to break Torrey Holt's record for rookie receiving yards in the playoff run. So congratulations there. Torrey Holt should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way.
Hall of Famer Torrey Holt, please. Let me say
that. Torrey Holt stan. Yes, sir. Jags legend, by the way. Yeah, so I think Cincinnati played a pretty solid defensive game as well. Forced 3 interceptions. Mike Hilton had 1. Jesse Bates had 1.
Mike Hilton's interception was ridiculous. Jesse Bates won. It came on the first play of the game too, after Ian Eagle just got done talking about how like there was a really long stretch where the Titans hadn't turned the ball over, and then right away just throws a pick.
Yep, ended with 3. And then Logan Wilson picked off the final play of the game for the Titans.
20 seconds left in the game.
Yeah.
He picks off Tannehill. Tannehill has a Miami Dolphins Ryan Tannehill moment, and the Bengals go down the field and win with another McPherson kick.
Yeah. You get shades of Favre in the 2009-10 NFC title game, just throwing a needless interception.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily his fault there, but it did put the Titans in a terrible situation. Burrow hits Chase. Chase gets some yak, and all of a sudden McPherson from 52, ice in his veins.
Ridiculous. The other game that happened that day was Packers 49ers. I don't mean to be biased, but this was just not a good game.
I don't mean to be biased, but biased.
I don't think it was a good game though. Because what did Aaron Rodgers really do in that game other than just miss Devontae Adams deep a couple times? There was a few. Just the run game was not really working out that well. I don't think it's a weather problem because the Packers play in that kind of weather all the time. And it's just, I don't know. Like, and the 49ers weren't really doing too much either. Like they were held to 3 points most of the game. Most of the game, it was 3-10 Green Bay. And the only time San Francisco ended up actually doing something significant was the end when they blocked a punt, scored a special teams touchdown, and then Jimmy G basically just relied on his buddy Debo to go to the end zone, or not the end zone, but get them in field goal range to win the game.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
My point is, I don't think it was a great game because Aaron Rodgers just was not himself.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers was playing at the MVP level, we all know he's playing at. We all know he's probably going to win MVP this year. The Packers would have widened the gap. It would have been like 3-20 something for a long time ago. A long time in that game.
And the funny part was Rodgers did lead a great drive to end the first half, but then blocked field goal by Jimmy Ward, right? Because he got burned on the long play down the sideline and then came over and blocked the field goal. So there you go, Jimmy Ward. So I thought it was a spectacular defensive performance by the 49ers. Adams got his, yes. Aaron Jones got his, yes. But there was no like big Lazard / MVS / Rodgers / tight end / whatever play. Like they kept a lid on. It's like playing the Chiefs and like Hill gets 100, Kelsey gets 100, but Pringle has nothing, and Me Score Easyman has nothing, and Edwards-Helaire has nothing, and Derek Gore has nothing, and Jerick McKinnon has nothing, and Noah Gray has nothing. So I think San Francisco was phenomenal. Fred Warner was I believe, second highest graded defensive player this weekend. I'm trying to think of the first frantically because I don't remember who it was. Nick Bosa was among the league the highest. Actually, it was, Warner was first. Von Miller was second. We'll get to the Rams game in a little bit, but Warner was unreal. Like, that is all pro Freddie. That is what Raj told me.
I think he was hurt too. Like, coming into this week, they said
that Bosa. That's the funny part, that both of them were coming in nursing injuries. Warner played his best game of the season. Nick Bosa was unreal too. He has 6.5 sacks in 5 playoff games.
Were the Packers missing Bakhtiari for this one?
Yes.
I seem to remember
Bakhtiari was out. Alexander played 8 snaps.
And I was saying too, like, this is a game. San Francisco wins games in the trenches. Yep. And without Bakhtiari, I mean, you're not going to stop Nick Bosa. You're not going to stop Fred Warner. You're not going to stop whoever else they have.
Eric Armstead had a great game. K'Wan Williams has made 2 team of the weeks in a row for me, which is just weird. He had 1 pass deflection or 1 pass breakup and 1 interception all season. He has 1 interception and 2 pass breakups in 2 playoff games. So who knows?
I mean,
Jesse Bates did the same thing. I think I've had 4 guys made both the wild card round and divisional round team of the week. Josh Allen, I Kelsey, so 5. So it was Allen, Kelsey, Aaron Donald. Surprise
there. Right.
Oh shoot, what's then K'Wan Williams and Jesse Bates. So shout out to Bates. You know, Bates was I said he was safety 1 coming into the year, if I remember correctly. He did not play like safety 1, but he is playing like safety 1 right now. So he is red hot. K'Wan Williams is red hot.
James, your safety 1.
Yeah, Derwin is so good, but he can't stay healthy.
He
also plays more of a strong safety role than a free safety role, but he can play both. But it's just kind of the defense that he's in on the week. The Chargers are a mess.
I think we've said that enough times.
Yes, this is true.
All right. Do we move on?
I think we do. Good win by the Niners, though.
Yeah. If you like defensive, I was just expecting more of an offensive game, but
fair. But it was like 0 degrees. Like 0 degrees wind chill for a chunk of it. So like what how many points are you really going to get at Lambeau there? So fair.
Green Bay's used to that sort of thing though, but we'll see.
This is true. And they choked. They didn't score enough points. Their defense allowed 6 points, an early field goal, then the last second field goal. Like if I was Zadarius, if I was a defensive player, like if I was Rashawn Gary, I probably would have sucker punched Aaron Rodgers after the game. Just Gary was awesome. Rashawn Gary is a superstar, folks. Rashawn Gary, welcome to your stardom. He was spectacular the entire season. I believe he is second in pressures at edge. Crosby 1, Gary 2 makes sense. Bosa is going to climb up that list. He's probably going to have like 8 tomorrow or 8 on Sunday. Although Von Miller might have 8 again. He had 8 the last time the Broncos were in the conference championship game. and had 8 in the Super Bowl. 23 pressures in 3 games is ridiculous, but he did have 10. We'll get to the Rams game in a little bit, but I'm excited. I really like what the Niners have other than Garoppolo, which Garoppolo is a top 32 quarterback, but he's not high enough matter, but he's not low enough to just like derail your entire franchise. I think it's like he and Tannehill are in the same tier of quarterbacks.
He's serviceable, I'll say. He works with that offense well enough to the point where he's not going to lose you games.
Right.
But that's mostly because he works so
doesn't
well
have the
with
opportunity to lose
guys
games
around him that like, yeah, he does. But like, you put him with guys like Debo, with guys like who else do they have? Ayuk,
Mitchell, Kittle, of course.
They're in position. They're really not a team that needs to rely on their quarterback to win games.
Right. Like you look on the AFC, and I don't want to spoil the other team, but whether it's Allen or Mahomes in that game, it is the quarterback or bust almost. Although the Chiefs, the Bills have some solid enough weapons, or like Burrow. If Burrow sucks, the Bengals don't really have a shot of winning. But as long as Burrow's like perfectly fine, they can win. And if Burrow is unreal, like he's been a handful of weeks this season, they are just going to beat you. It does not matter. It just doesn't matter. There are just some weeks Burrow gets in his bag, Chase gets in his bag, and it's over.
Pretty much.
The Niners are not that team. They can dominate on the ground. Debo and Elijah Mitchell run behind Trent Williams, run behind Tom Compton.
They win games with their blocking.
Highest graded right tackle. So if the highest graded left tackle, highest graded right tackle, Laken Tomlinson's pretty good. Alex Mack is a potential Hall of Famer. I am totally blanking on their right. Oh, it's Brunskill. Sorry, Daniel Brunskill. You have a good offensive line, so you can like I think they're going to be able to run the ball on the Rams. And I don't mean to spoil that game, but I think they can run the ball on the team they're facing in the NFC Championship game. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And they have Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, so you might have the 2 best players on the field at any given time. Speaking of, Jack, who are the 49ers facing this Sunday?
We are doing it once again. 3rd time this year. We got the Rams, we got the Niners in the NFC Championship game. And how did the Rams get there, you might ask? Well, they started out by going up 27-3 on the Buccaneers. And for a while, we streamed this game. And for a while, I was constantly saying, no matter how many points we were scoring, no matter how many fantastic touchdowns we had, no matter what was going on,
no matter how many strip sacks Von Miller had,
Tom Brady is on the other freaking sideline. So this game is not over until the clock hits 0 in the 4th quarter. And
this is true.
Sure enough, the second half starts, and the Rams just fumbled too, by the way, to end the first half. Cam Akers fumbled at the 1. He was going to score a touchdown.
I bet he's never going to fumble again, is he?
Sure, he's not.
Yeah, I don't think so. Running backs don't fumble twice in the same game, do they?
Sure, they don't. They're not supposed to, at least.
Ha!
I called that insignificant. I was like, Rams are going to get the ball. It sucks, but the Rams are going to get the ball back to start the second half. We just need to have another fantastic drive. And I think they went 3 and out or something happened. They didn't score. Mm-hmm. And slowly but surely, Tom Brady was starting to rip my heart out.
Yep. 27-3, 27-6, 27-13, 27-20, 27-27.
Freaking Leonard Fournette.
On 4th and 1, this was the ballsiest decision of the week. I'm thinking, okay, Brady sneak. Go ahead.
Let me just say that was a bad spot by the ref. It should have been 1st and 10 anyway.
Agreed.
Or
totally
agree.
Goal,
whatever it was.
But they had 4th and a full one. This wasn't even like 4th and inches. This was like 4th and a full one.
Straight up, just 4th and 1.
I'm thinking,
the Rams
okay,
stopped those
Brady
this year
territory,
too.
Brady territory. And then Brady takes a step and hands it off to Fournette. Playoff Lenny. Touchdown.
And
tie game.
And
I'm
Rams
like, have 40 seconds to respond?
Roughly 40 seconds left to respond. They're getting the ball back. And then who do you go to in this situation?
Cam Akers.
Nope, not Cam Akers. Although it would have been awesome to see Cam Akers break off like a 70-yard run.
No, like fumble for the 3rd time and lose the game.
You know what's funny too is Stafford actually fumbled on the first play of that drive. He like almost got sacked and then he dropped the ball for a second and he jumped on top of it like right away. So thank God he didn't lose that football.
Better than Brian Allen.
And then, oh, gee. Remember when Brian Allen just threw it over his head?
Yeah.
Ouch.
And Stafford didn't really try to recover it.
He tried.
That was like a 25-yard swing because it was it? Oh, it was Brady got strip sacked.
Brady got strip sacked by Von Miller, and then a
Yeah.
play later.
And then the Brian Allen just snaps it to the moon.
Yeah.
So great sequence there. Great sequence.
Talk
there.
about long snappers. But thankfully, Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp led the game-winning drive of their lives.
This is there are a few one-of-ones. I'll talk about one with the Bills coming up, but Cooper Kupp, Stafford, that 44-yard completion is the longest play from scrimmage in a playoff game in the last minute in the last 20 years.
And they nailed it.
One-of-one. That is a one-of-one. And then Matt Gay, he wasn't short from, I don't know how long the field goal was. He was short from 47. I don't know how you're short from 47.
Made both of us scream. I was like, why the hell is he short from that long? Like, that should have been good all day long. He was mad about it, but they got him in a better mood on the sideline.
Nailed it.
And nails the 30-yarder. Rams shut down the comeback, and they're going to the NFC title game.
For the second time in 4 years.
So here is my advice to the Los Angeles Rams in the NFC Championship game. Please play full quarters. That's all I ask. You see what you see?
Hey, that didn't help you the last time because it went into overtime.
Yeah, it did go into overtime, and they actually did play. I mean, they lost the battle in the trenches in the second half of the 49ers game. They played.
That was without Trent Williams too.
It was.
Oh boy. You're in trouble. You're in trouble
18, now. Week 18, they played, I would say, their best first half of the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
How much did it matter?
Nothing. Sean McVay was 37-0 when leading at halftime.
45-0.
47-0.
46-0. 40, maybe 47. I don't know. It doesn't matter now. Streak's dead.
And then choke. And then the Rams almost did it again to the Bucs, but then they got bailed out by high-end talent because Cooper Kupp is a
if they play the way they do in the first half, in the fourth quarter, they can win games. When the Rams offense is hot, they know what they are doing, even against San Francisco.
Good point.
They need to just stick to their game plan. Don't worry about what the 49ers are doing. Just play your game. Play all four quarters. Play as hard as you possibly can. Because we have the talent to run with these guys.
Yes.
Even when we blew that lead, we were still fighting with them. We still managed to score a couple points and get back and force the game.
You took the lead. You were up 24-17, and you forced them to punt. And you had the ball. They had their 3 timeouts. You had the ball with
you just finished that drive. San Francisco's not even in the playoffs.
All you have to do is get one first down, game over. You didn't, but you were in a good situation.
Yeah, the Rams know how to put themselves in situations to win against this team. They just need to finish these situations. Execute. Play play the full game. Play a whole 60 minutes, maybe longer sometimes, and you can win this game.
Absolutely.
But you've got to execute.
Just saying the exact same thing that Debo, Elijah, as long as Jimmy doesn't throw the game away, then you have a reasonable shot.
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
It's really true for both teams. I think the fact that it's the third time too these teams have seen each other, this is going to be spicy. I don't even care about the 6 games; they're irrelevant to me. It doesn't matter anymore. Nothing else matters.
Irrelevant to Jack. I don't remember the last time that 2 teams. I guess it was last year. Bucks Saints. They play the third time in New Orleans. New Orleans had won the first 2. Bucks say, "LOL, try again." They win that game. So it's been a while since a team completed the 3-0 sweep. I actually don't remember the last one. Was it okay, so Buffalo was a split. Buffalo New England was a split.
And here's
LA,
something else I'll
Arizona
say
was
too.
A split.
Here's something else I'll say too. The Rams did not have a fully functioning Cam Akers in their last game against San Francisco. He played like 3-4 total snaps, something like that. If he protects the football and they like get him like really into this game, watch out.
They did have a fully dysfunctional Cam Akers last week, though. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I mentioned the ball security. Just protect
How do you
the
fumble
football
twice in a game? Like, I get quarterbacks that do it. Like, yes, I watch Lamar Jackson.
How does Matthew Stafford not turn the ball over in any of those situations?
I don't know.
I thought if we were going to turn the ball over, it was going to be because of a pick or Stafford loses the
And then
ball.
Kupp lost a fumble too.
Kupp lost a
You
fumble.
had what, 4 fumbles?
4 fumbles, and they won the game.
So you had Kupp 1, Allen 1, Akers 2. I still can't believe he fumbled the second fumble. I about lost
2 hands on the ball, buddy.
Yeah.
2 hands on the
2
ball.
hands
That's
on the
all
ball.
I'm gonna say.
2 hands on the ball. But moving on, we have game of the year contender here. It might be the best playoff game. It's a top 5 playoff game, maybe ever. Of course, Super Bowls and conference championship games are going to get a little bit of a boost because it just matters more. But this game is on that tier of Mile High Miracle, the Niners, the Catch 3. That's what it's called. Niners Saints.
Yeah, it's up there for sure.
What a game! The Miami 80, was it 82? Chargers Dolphins. Is it 82? Something like that.
I don't remember.
But like, this was an iconic performance. Mahomes was unreal. Allen was unreal. All of my Allen takes were correct. But the freaking number one. Okay, let me tell you these 4 numbers. In the 2021 NFL regular season, the Buffalo Bills led the NFL in points allowed, yards allowed, passing yards allowed, first downs allowed. In their game against the Kansas City Chiefs, they allowed their most of each of these in a game the entire season. Points, 42. Passing yards, over 300 plus, over 350 plus. Total yards, over 500. First downs, over 30. Look, we can talk about the overtime rules in a little bit. We can talk about if they should change, if they shouldn't change. We can talk about a lot of things. The Buffalo Bills defense folded when it mattered. They were the number 1 total offense, their number 1 total the number 1 total defense, the number 1 scoring defense, the number 1 passing defense, the number 1 first down defense. They were the best defense by just about every measure you could possibly imagine. Hey, Joe, how's it going? They were the number 1 defense by every meaningful metric. Everything, even the yards per play, I believe they were first. Yards per drive, one that I care about. Points per drive, they were first. They were first in everything. And Mahomes, Kelsey, Hill, Pringle, Hardman, Andy Reid said, F you, we are going to the bloody AFC title game for the 4th year in a row. It was just magnificent what they did when it mattered. The Bills couldn't get a stop. What's the point of having the lead defense? What's the point of having an all-pro safety in Jordan Poyer? What's the point of having a second-team all-pro safety?
You look at games like this, like high-scoring, rapid-paced games where the teams are just going back and forth. One example that comes to mind is the Rams and the Chiefs from 2018. Yes. And you want to know the difference between... You say that the defense is folded in that game. The Rams-Chiefs game was full of defensive plays. We had 3 defensive touchdowns, 2 picks to end the game. And it was like
Mahomes threw 3 total interceptions.
He threw a pick.
Like, at least that game, the defenses contributed to the scoring.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, defenses were doing things in that game. Mm-hmm. In this game, defenses were just it was offense the whole time. Like, defense felt non-existent.
Yeah, like the first drive of the game, the Bills walked like 14 plays down the field. It's like, okay, the Chiefs aren't going to stop anything today. And guess what? The Bills decided we're not going to stop anything either. Here's a stat. Since 2001, Pro Football Reference has drive-by-drive information, play-by-play information each drive. Since 2001, there has been one situation that a team with fewer than this number of seconds on the clock, fewer than 13 like the Chiefs had, one situation that a team had fewer than 13 seconds on the clock from their inside their own 25 and scored. That play happened to be the River City Relay, Saints Jags, and then was it not Jack? Oh my God. John Carney missed the extra point. So they lost by 1. The Chiefs had 13 seconds to traverse about 40 yards of field position.
13 seconds.
This has never been done before. Never been done before. Never been done successfully, unless it's like way ye old in NFL. Never been done before. The Bills have the number 1 total defense, the number 1 scoring defense, the number 1 passing defense, the number 1 first down defense. And they can't stop jack squat on the most important drive of their season, one of the most important drives in the history of the franchise.
And they take
25 years.
Travis
the last
Kelce.
25 years, that is the most important drive in franchise in their last 25 years, and they folded. They folded, and we'll talk about overtime, but they folded. The Chiefs had the fastest game-tying or game-winning drive starting from their 25 ever. 13 seconds. Second is there's a Dallas, or not a Dallas, there's a Detroit and Washington game from 2020. Detroit with Stafford, I believe Stafford, took 18 seconds or 16 seconds. And then oddly enough, the other two games that were under 20 seconds were back-to-back weeks. Fitzpatrick had 19 seconds against the Raiders week 16. Tannehill had 19 seconds against the Texans week 17. Both of those were game-winning drives with the field goal. But it's just baffling to me. It is baffling to me that I was told all year the Bills have an elite defense. I remember arguing with guys on we made a Bills.
No.
Like a Josh Allen
elite
video.
Defense? No.
What do you mean? They were number one in points allowed, number one in yards allowed, number one in first downs allowed, number one in passing yards allowed. What is an elite defense?
I mean, they weren't there. I'm not saying they weren't bad, but like, look at what the Patriots did to them in that one game. And like, I mean, to be fair, weather, but
they scored 13 points. They had one big run, and everything else was shut down.
I don't know. Whatever it was, if they had an elite defense all year long, it was just non-existent in this game.
Yeah, you needed to make one play. One. I'm talking. You didn't have to.
There.
One play.
One play.
13 seconds. You make one play. You are going to the AFC Championship game. One singular play, and you're going to the AFC title game. Or guess what? You lose the coin toss in overtime. Whoop-de-diggamadoggon do. Stop the Chiefs. Nope, can't do that.
So we should transition into the overtime talk here, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty
when you said
about this one.
When you said to me that like during the stream, I think you like jokingly said like you guys can always just kneel and go to overtime, and I was like, shut up.
This is true. You could have.
You know what? The reason why I said that is because I don't trust the coin toss. Okay, and I seriously don't trust the coin toss like in any situation. Like I don't want to have to rely on the flip of a coin.
I have a stat for you, Jack.
Go ahead.
There have been 11 overtime games since they changed the rule that you needed a touchdown to win the game. 11 overtime games in the playoffs. Teams that win the coin toss are 10-1.
10-1, and the one team that lost is the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I was going to say, guess who the team that lost the toss but won the game was?
Yeah, I figured you were going to lead me to
Los Angeles Rams. Good job.
2019 NFC Championship game.
Teams have walked it off 7 times. This includes the Chiefs. This also includes the 2011 Broncos. This also includes, or was it 2010 Broncos? It's 2011 Broncos.
I think.
Frick. I don't remember. So 2010. Okay. I am going to run through this in my brain. Okay. 2011 was the year. Okay. We won the AFC North. We were the 2 seed. Patriots were the 1 seed. We played the Texans in the second round. So Texans, Bengals were the 6. Was it Texans 3, Bengals 6? That actually doesn't make any sense.
the picture.
No, the Broncos were the 4. Okay, the 2011 Broncos. That was the year that the Patriots were using Hernandez as a running back in that game. They were gashing Denver over and over, and Brady punted on 3rd down. Anyways, so 2011 Broncos. That's one. You got the 2018 Patriots, you have the 2016 Patriots in the Super Bowl, you have the 2021 this last game. There's 7 total games, and then you have 4 games left over. You have the Giants 49ers game in 2011 that the Giants won the toss, got the ball, punted, muffed punt, field goal, they win. Okay. Then you have the 2012 Ravens Broncos game. Ravens won the toss, stop. Payton threw an interception, Tucker bang. You have the Rams 49 the Saints Rams game. Saints win the toss. Breeze throws an interception. Zerline hits from 57 going to the Super Bowl. And the leftover game was Texans Bills 2019. Texans won the toss. Back forth. Texans
I can't believe that was a game in recent memory. The Texans and the Bills.
And Allen was awful. He unraveled in the fourth quarter.
Bad Josh Allen versus the Texans.
Deshaun Watson. They made the playoffs 2 years ago. Can you believe that?
That's ridiculous.
The Texans have been in a playoff game since January
It's
1st, 2020.
it's like the Jaguars, honestly, in a way. Like a couple years ago, like can you believe the Jaguars made an AFC Championship game?
Yeah, actually, I do believe that.
Yeah, they were pretty good in
Did you know that the
2017.
Steelers have the longest playoff win drought in the division?
Did not know that.
Yeah, they are in a
I think you're
division
just
with.
enjoying getting a kick out of teasing Steeler fans.
Oh, I
with that
am,
one.
but they are in a division with Labooty Cheeks and the 2 Ohio NFL teams. Please explain to me why you haven't won a playoff game since the divisional round. They won a playoff game without scoring a touchdown. Do you realize how difficult that is? They scored 6
How
field
difficult
goals.
is it? Mm.
And then the week before they beat Matt Moore. Oh my goodness. They had one of the easiest 6 seed ever, Matt Moore instead of Ryan Tannehill, against it was a Jay Ajayi led Dolphins team that actually had beaten the Steelers earlier in the season. But unless Ajayi runs for 200 yards, you're beating the Dolphins and they're playing with their backup quarterback. Then you go to Arrowhead, don't score a touchdown and still win. There are 20, I believe it's 21 NFL teams have won a playoff game since the Steelers. 21, including the entire AFC South.
Yeah. It's a mess for the Steelers in that case. Overtime. I think
Overtime.
I think there are some games, like you mentioned the Rams Saints game, the NFC Championship game from that year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an example. That's more of an example of it is possible that defense can win you those types of games because all you have to do.
The Ravens defense bailed them out in 2012. You know, the horrendous Kyle Williams bailed out the Giants in 2011. And then the Texans defense bailed them out in 2019. So I think but I don't like using that. We've talked before how I don't like using one game or a small sample size. If you're interested in changing the rules of overtime, do not start your argument with, the Bills should have gotten a possession in overtime. No, that should be entirely irrelevant because guess what? One game sample sizes are stupid. There's an alternate universe that the Chiefs win the toss, throw a pick six the first play. Are you complaining that Josh Allen and the Bills didn't have a possession? No, because it wouldn't have mattered. So don't make dumb arguments based on one game. So yes, the sample size right now is 11 games. The team that won the toss is 10-1. And 7 touchdowns have been scored on the opening drive. 8 games have been played without the other team touching the ball offensively. Kyle Williams had a fumble there, so that was a special teams play. So yes, I understand that 72.7% of games ended without one of the teams having an offensive play. Sure, fine, I get it. But that is only a sample size of 11 games. Heck, there's a 9.1% chance that a team muffs a punt. Okay, do you think there's a 9.1% chance a team muffs a punt? Like if there's an overtime game next week, is there a 9% chance that Debo muffs a punt in overtime? No. Is there a 9% chance that Skronek or Kupp or whoever the Rams have back muffs a punt? No, it's much lower than that. Or is there a 9% chance that, I don't know who returns punts for Cincinnati. Is there a 9% chance that Hardman or Hill muffs a punt for Kansas City? No, but you're just using one game out of an 11-game sample size. So I don't like when people do that. I do think overtime rules should be changed. I posted about it on the app that I think it should be one 15-minute period, that it's just you have a coin toss. The winner of the coin toss gets the ball. You have 15 minutes, no 2-point convert, or I'm sorry, no extra points though. So if we're going Chiefs-Bills, the Chiefs get the ball. They have 15 minutes and they go back and forth. So, and if the game needs a double overtime, give them a double overtime. If they need a triple overtime, which we've never had in the NFL, give them a triple overtime. And before you say, well, splash, that's endangering the players. It's one game. It is one game. There is about one playoff game a year that goes into overtime. Yeah, I actually am using circumstantial evidence there, but even in the larger scheme of the NFL, about 7% of games go to overtime. So during a season, on average, you'll play about one overtime game a year. Every team is going to play about one overtime game a year. Okay, so that's over years and years, like 50 years of data for including regular season.
Sure.
So you get one overtime game a year and playoff game. Okay. I think it's fair for a playoff game. Would it be fair for a regular season game? No. So don't change anything with the regular season overtime rules. Just change it with the playoff overtime rules. Say you have 15 minutes, no extra points. You go back and forth. Whoever ends up with the most points wins. And if you're tied, go to a second overtime, like the Mile High Miracle game, like the Epic and Miami game, like the Chiefs Dolphins game in 74, like the Rams Panthers game in 2003 that Steve Smith, the GOAT, walked off. Sorry about that, Jack. But don't say, well, the Bills should have gotten the Bills should have gotten a possession in overtime. To me, that's irrelevant. That if the Chiefs got the ball and had a 15-minute drive and kicked a field goal and won the game 39-36, that's a win. That's a win. They controlled the clock for 15 minutes. They won. I don't think it should be a requirement that both teams have the ball. Okay. I think you should have it. The odds of you having a 15-minute drive are very slim, but I think you should be going in the realm of make it more like NFL football than make it fair. I'm not saying it's not. I think I've walked myself into a corner here. My idea: 15-minute extra period, coin toss, team that gets the ball first, cool. They do whatever the heck they want with the football. And the game ends when it's zeros on the clock.
I think somebody made a suggestion that I read this on the CBS newsletter this morning, and I think it was something about how I want to read this specifically here. Give me one moment. Let me find it. I actually don't remember where it was, but I remember reading about it somewhere about how overtime should probably be. It should be like changed to like where teams like have to go for 2 every time or something.
Yep,
like that.
I'm cool with that. Yep, absolutely.
I think that would be cool if teams were like forced to go for 2. I still like the XFL's idea of a shootout.
Agree. I would prefer that in the regular season over the playoffs, though.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Because then you can't.
I don't want to implement college rules.
No, college rules are for college. I'd just leave that alone.
Yeah, it's fine for college, but I think I would have had an aneurysm live on air if Georgia Alabama went to overtime and went to double overtime, and you started having the 2-point conversions back and forth. I would have punched the screen. Like I would have punched all the way through my laptop screen right here. And then I would have punched, my arm would have extended through the screen, through the TV across the room. That is how mad I would have been if the national championship game is ending on 2-point conversions back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That would have been a disaster. Actually, probably would have been a more desirable outcome than Georgia winning, but that's neither here nor there.
All right, then. What's next on the list? Do we talk about, I guess we kind of slightly touched on Rodgers and Brady. We did
overtime. Sean Payton announced that he would not be coaching the New Orleans Saints this year. He will be taking a year off. This, of course, leads idiots in the world to say, "Oh, he's just trying to escape the Saints." No, he's not. The Saints have ways to get down below the cap. It's not the end of the world. They do have a limitation, the amount of talent they can add, but they can keep Lattimore and Marcus Williams and their tackles and Kamara and Michael Thomas and guys like that. They can keep everyone. They just can't. They're just not going to be able to go out and sign Devontae Adams for like $30 million.
No,
they're just not going to be able to do that, right? So the Saints are going to be fine. The Saints are going to be very good. If you figure out you
need to figure out your QB situation, though. Yeah. If they have Jameis, I think they'll be all right.
I think they're. Oh, I don't have enough points to make it into a realistic take, but I would not be surprised if the Saints win the NFC South this coming season.
Yeah, I mean,
assuming Jameis plays. If Jameis plays 17 games,
if Michael Thomas plays
17 games,
I don't even know what happened to him. Like he hurt his leg or something.
Yeah, he had an ankle injury and didn't get off-season surgery. Okay, so these 3 caveats, Jameis Winston plays 17 games. Michael Thomas plays 17 games, and they draft a wide receiver at 18. With those three caveats, the Saints will win the NFC South. Because if you give Jameis Winston, you give him Alvin Kamara, you give him hopefully a speedster wide receiver. Jameson Williams makes a lot of sense for that, even though I don't think he'd be fully healthy until the season. So regardless, you give him Michael Thomas, you give him Marquez Callaway, you give him Traquan Smith, you give him the tight ends, Troutman, you give him a solid offensive line. That's healthy, which Teron Armstead doesn't play 17 games a season, but Ryan Ramczyk has been generally very healthy. So if you have a reasonably healthy tackle duo and a reasonably healthy wide receiver core and a reasonably healthy Alvin Kamara and reasonably healthy not Teddy Bridgewater at all, reasonably healthy Jameis Winston, you're going to have a very good offense. And the Saints are very good defensively. Outside of the game they played Miami, and they sucked because they were losing half of their players. Regardless, resign Marcus Williams, get Jameis back in the door, figure out the ordeal with Michael Thomas. You're going to be a very good team next year. They should have made the playoffs this year, but the Rams choked that away, and they would have made the playoffs. They might have even won the division if Jameis was playing, in all honesty, because the way that Hill played and Simeon played, and I don't even want to talk about Ian Book. He was not very good. The Saints are going to be very good next year. I think the Saints and Ravens have like a handshake agreement. They're just going to rain terror on the rest of the NFL next year.
Oh boy.
I'm excited. The Ravens aren't going to be able to stop anyone, but oh boy, the offense is going to be explosive. I'm so excited.
I do kind of miss the rivalry, the mini rivalry we had with the Saints going a couple of years ago, because there was the whole no call game, and then there was
Aaron Donald broke Breeze.
Yeah, so that actually had the potential to be a pretty good game, but when Breeze went out, it was kind of like Bridgewater is not bad, but
he's not Drew Brees.
He's not Drew Brees, and Jared Goff is going to be serviceable enough to win this game. So,
although the Bridgewater and co did win the next 5, so
that's true.
Who knows? All right.
Yeah, that's the thing about football. You never know.
Yeah, I think it's time for more football talk. I think you have a tier list.
Yes.
Perhaps.
So let me get this screen share ready really fast. I had a bit of like a progression in turn, I guess, for lack of a better term, in what I was going to do for tier this. I started out thinking maybe Henry suggested we do NHL jerseys, but I was like, no, because I just a lot of them. Spent time grabbing 51 NFL or NHL, like the outdoor jerseys, and we did the outdoor tier list. I was grabbing images well into the episode. We went over 2 hours. It was kind of crazy. Yep. I was like, I need a little bit of a break from hockey jerseys. I thought maybe we could do hockey logos, but we did just do NFL logos. Yeah. And then I thought maybe we could do hockey arenas, and I was like, that I'm gonna throw that one in the idea vault for now, because that's
for sure
something doable, because a lot of them look sort of the same, if you know what I mean. I mean, there's obviously they're all different, but a lot of them are kind of, you don't really see them as much. They're not really that prominent.
And baseball stadiums are fun.
Oh, baseball stadiums actually be pretty fun.
Yeah, I think that might be the best one.
Yeah,
so I think
but I was for now,
problem with like NBA arenas, NHL arenas is that the focus isn't on the arena itself.
Yeah.
Right. The focus is more on
you don't really
the ice or the court, but like an NFL stadium, you get more of the atmosphere. I think you get more of the atmosphere, and you get more of like the flyover shots. You can like see the field,
and you're also like seeing a lot of the stadium when like the ball is like sailing through the air and stuff like that.
Right.
So.
And baseball is very much based on the field, right?
Yeah,
like dimensions.
Absolutely.
You have Fenway, you have Wrigley, like you have icons. Of course, there's Lambeau and like Madison Square Garden, but nothing's beating Wrigley and Fenway or Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think next week we might, next week we might have to do baseball stadiums.
That would be fun. But for now, we've got football stadiums on the tier list. We have only 30 because for whatever reason, the Rams and Chargers like to share a stadium, as do the Jets and Giants. And before we get anywhere too deep into this tier list, I'm going to take FedEx Field and put it on D tier, because oh my goodness, that place is a dump.
It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. I'm not going to be able to zoom in, so I have to either make myself super, super dark or not be able to get good views of these stadiums. I could try the old tactic of just switching my.
I could probably send you a zip of these. That might take a minute though.
There we go. I think that's a little bit better lighting.
All right. I can't. I spent forever finding the images, so I think we can get a general idea of what it is. So
okay.
Yeah, FedEx Field D tier. That place we had. Let me just go through the list really quick. We had a sewage pipe burst. We had a smoke machine malfunction during the team's introduction. We had the heated benches break, and we had fans almost kill Jalen Hurts when they fell over the railing because it collapsed.
That would have
when they were
hurt a
trying
lot.
to high-five him. Yeah, that was bad. So D tier, FedEx Field.
D tier.
Nothing more to be said there. All right, now going in actual order, we have Allegiant Stadium up first. This is one of the newer ones.
Yes.
This place is beautiful.
Yes, gorgeous.
I may not like the teams for all of these teams, but the stadiums are like this place. I love the shot that they showed on the first Monday night game that was played here when like they showed the torch get lit up, and then like you had like the whole Vegas skyline through that giant window.
Oh,
that was really cool.
Glorious, beautiful stadium. Looks like a Death Star. Beautiful stadium. What are you gonna do with SoFi? Are you gonna just assume it's the home of the Rams and like pretend the Chargers don't play there?
That's what I do in Madden. I do have the Rams picture there, but we'll
like have it S tier when the Rams host it. Actually, scratch that. Have it S tier when the Rams host it. Have it D tier when the 49ers host it, like they will Sunday, and have it F tier when the Chargers host it. Yeah,
the Chargers never host it in the first place.
That's true. That's true.
God, I really hope the fan base shows up to this one, but it's
okay. What do you think the split is if it's a Rams Chargers home game? What do you think this fan split is? Do you think it's any different if you're like a Jets Giants? If you're like Jets Giants, but it's a Jets home game, is that any different from a Giants home game? But if it's the same,
that's a tough call. New York has shared that arrangement for a longer time, so
this is true. Old Giants Stadium, MetLife, of course. Now that's fun. I might have to ask Nick and Frankie. Like, is there anything different about going to a Giants Jets game if it's hosted by one or the other? Because it's the same stadium.
It's like the Lakers and Clippers. Although there's kind of more like a bit more of like a longevity term there when like the Lakers have been in town for a lot longer than the Clippers have. And we saw like Kawhi Leonard in his first game as a Clipper was literally getting booed. Like it was the Clippers against the Lakers.
There's different stadiums there because the Clippers don't play at now Crypto.com Arena.
Crypto.com Arena, yeah, they do.
That's so weird. I don't like
it. It is weird. And like it was like all Clippers stuff. It was supposed to be their first game there. At the time it was called Staples Center. And the whole place was Lakers fans, and Kawhi was getting booed. He was like trying to talk to the crowd, and he was just getting booed the whole time.
Wait a minute. So did the Clippers play at Crypto.com?
They are going to move out.
Okay.
Eventually.
Okay.
They still play here for now, but they're going to move.
Okay. Fair play.
Lumen Field, formerly called CenturyLink Field. I think that's that's AT&T Stadium. Never mind. I can't see.
Yeah.
It looked like Lumen Field for a second, but that's AT&T Stadium. That's Jerry World.
I think we have to go S tier.
Probably, yeah. I think we're gonna have to go S tier.
Unless you're Brian Inger, then it's probably A tier.
Brian Inger, who hit the jumbotron. I think that jumbotron's a little bit too low, but what are you gonna do? What's next up? That's Bank of America Stadium. I actually have a list right here too, so I don't screw up any of these names. I probably should have been looking at that.
I gotta go C tier. I think it's kind of tacky. I think there are some goofy games that have been held there that like it really sucks when there's weather there. Like other stadiums, it's fun when there's weather, but I'm not a big fan.
There was I think it was called the Monsoon Bowl because it was just pouring rain. It was like flooding there, and it just was not like I've watched highlights of that, and that was just like not.
Yeah, and I don't like Panthers fans are fine, but I don't love the energy. Like I don't actively enjoy watching games at Bank of America Stadium. Other stadiums I can like vibe with, but the Panthers, it just doesn't.
All they have going for them is like the keep pounding champ, and that's like it.
Yeah.
The Caesars Superdome is up next. I think this is A tier for sure.
A tier. Might go S.
Probably S. Honestly,
the lights did go out that one time in an important Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'll be nice and give it the S tier. I've never hated the Superdome. I've always thought it's like a clean.
Yeah.
I guess if you know what I mean. place.
We'll probably have a
Um,
lot of S tiers.
Yeah,
for
honestly,
this.
a lot of these are pretty good.
Mhm.
This is Empower Field at Mile High is the full name
Yep.
for the Broncos.
I
What do we
think I
think?
love watching games in Denver. I think it has to, probably A tier. I think you get
I think
Mile
A tier is
High.
fair.
Yeah.
I like the architecture that they have going for it, like the
Mhm.
arches or whatever that is, like the wavy seats are on the top.
Right.
I've always thought that was cool. So I think A is fine, fair. This is the Browns
First Energy Field.
First
First
Energy
Energy
Stadium.
Stadium.
Yes.
I actually I've been here. Enjoyed it a lot. Good placement. Does get a little cold because I believe it's on Lake Erie.
Yeah, it's like
Does get a
right on
little
the
cold,
edge of the
but
lake.
that brings you into the atmosphere. Like you really feel there. Browns fans are awesome. I'm thinking A tier here. I think
Yeah,
it's
I
a
think A
very
tier is
very
fair. I
good
actually
stadium.
like this place. Of
The
course, we see
Cleveland
it all the
sports
time
fans are very nice.
on the at home with Baker Mayfield commercials.
This is
That's
true. That is the
there a
worst
lot.
part of the stadium. All right.
It's cool though. I
Mhm.
never had any complaints about that
Yeah.
place. What do we got
Good.
next? I think that's Ford Field for the Detroit Lions.
I mean, it's like,
I think B
see,
tier.
yeah, I think domes generally are better. Okay, Alec, before you get mad at me for saying generally domes are better, in general, I think domes have like closed roof arenas are more likely to get S tiers and A tiers for me. That's not saying they're always better, but I think like FedEx Field is an open air stadium. There are some disasters that are open field stadiums. So I think there's a smaller grouping of like we're going to put Lambeau in S tier. That's an open air stadium. Um, I don't have a problem with doing that. And Soldier Field probably would be S tier if it was like 25 years ago. But I think there's like a more consistency with the indoor stadiums.
Yeah, for sure. But
So
yeah, I think B
I
tier
would
is
say B
fair.
tier. I
Yeah,
think it's probably the
that's
worst
place.
of the domes.
It's not even a dome. It's like a flat roof or something like that. But I guess the
Good point.
architecture is pretty good though. Like when you look at it from the outside, I think it looks cool.
Good point.
What do we have? This
Is that
is Arrowhead
Arrowhead?
Stadium.
S.
S tier. Nothing really needs to be said there. Gillette Stadium, I think A.
Yeah, I would go A or B. It's nice. It's good to watch football in.
It's yeah. It's about as generic, honestly, as you can say. Although I do like some of the architecture that they have going towards the
I
end, where
like
like
how
the
they have
Patriots
like
fans are
on the
from.
near the 50-yard line, they have the like the logo of the
Yeah,
Gillette
they
Stadium. I
actually
think
put
that's
their
pretty cool.
logo on the 50-yard line. I think more teams should do something similar,
I'm
or
I'm,
maybe
I'm
do
down
it.
with that.
Maybe like just write like put like the arena text logo in like the white part, like the out of bounds line. I think that would be
That'd
cool
be really
because
cool. That'd be really
then
cool.
it's not like cluttering the field. I think that
hmm
would look cool. I've done a couple concepts like that actually. So,
Cool.
um,
Looks like
Hard
Hard
Rock
Rock.
Stadium.
I like Hard Rock. I like the colors. I think they can vibe. I'd probably go A or B.
I'd go A. I vibe with it during the Super Bowl. I thought it looked good.
Mm-hmm. Is that the
Um,
catch-up bottle next?
I believe so. Heinz Field.
I'm
What do we
gonna say
think?
B tier. I think the atmosphere is unbelievable, but the
Wait
field
until they play
itself,
Renegade.
yeah,
Oh
that
boy.
but the field itself kind of sucks because Pitt plays there, the Steelers play there. I believe high school games are held there, so the field kind of sucks. The atmosphere is great though, so
They've
I would
had
say B, like kind of split the difference.
yeah, I think B tier is fair. They've had a couple outdoor NHL games there too, so
The
that's
atmosphere is
fine.
incredible though, like S tier atmosphere, but yeah,
Yeah. All right. This is what's it called? What's the official
new
name of the
era,
Bills?
high mark,
Highmark
yeah.
Stadium.
Oh, I'm
Or I
gonna give
think
this one a high mark. I would say A tier. I've watched a lot
yeah,
of Bills games in Orchard Park the last couple years. Of course, Ravens Bills playoff game. It is a great atmosphere. Bills
it
Mafia is
is. Bills
incredible.
Mafia brings it. They bring it for sure.
Yeah, like playoff games should be held at Highmark
I
Stadium.
think unless you're a table, you're picking A tier for this one.
Yes.
I think next up is Lambeau. No discussion
S.
here. S tier.
It would
It's
be S plus.
yeah, one of the greatest stadiums of all time.
Is that Levi's next?
That is Levi's next.
I mean, it's all right. I would
I'd go
probably go
B.
B or C.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I the bias in me wants to put C, but it's not like the worst
It's
place to
B.
watch football.
It's a nice place. They have some cool vending options, I believe, like food options.
Saw a hockey game
Next
there
up,
too. Wasn't there, but like the Kings played an outdoor game there
we
against
have
the
the
Sharks.
Link.
The Link.
I think the Link,
International.
lots of energy there. I think it's a good field. Probably A.
Yeah.
Maybe high B, low A.
I'd go A.
Okay.
I never really had too much of a problem with this place. We've got Lucas Oil
Bowl.
Stadium, or is it Lucas Oil Field? No, it's Lucas Oil Stadium.
Huh.
This place I would probably put A because I actually really like it, regardless of whether the roof is open or closed.
Yeah, you get some goofy lighting with the roof when it's open.
Yeah, but
there's the huge windows.
That's true.
I probably have it maybe a little lower than the Link. So I'd probably go B actually.
We'll go B. Now we've got, I believe, Lumen Field for the Seahawks.
I really want to go S tier here.
I do too,
it's
honestly.
Glorious.
I want to go S tier.
Fans are great. Atmosphere is great. You feel like you're watching a football game.
Yeah.
So
have you watched Norb Kim, his videos before?
I do not believe so.
Yeah, he does like he films his face at like Seahawks games, and just the energy is just electric, like crazy. You can always get that. It's like loud there every time.
For sure.
That place felt so wrong when I watched the Rams play there in 2020. It was like no fans, and it's just like
fake fake crowd noise.
Fake crowd noise on Fox. Yeah. What is this? What is after? I know these are in alphabetical
MetLife?
order.
No, MetLife's the Jets one. That's
that's actually I believe that's M&T Bank Stadium.
Okay. I can barely see it on my screen. I think M&T Bank, it's good location in the city, solid food options, great atmosphere. I would say like A. I would say an A tier.
I'm gonna take your word for it because it's your team's place. So, how many times have you been to this place?
I went twice in 2017, once in 18, once in 19. So I've been, I believe, 4 times. I went to the Colts game, Bengals game, Browns game, Steelers game. So 4 times.
Okay. All right. I think this one, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, S tier probably. I've never really had any problems with it. The only problem, I guess, is the Falcons themselves.
Oh, that's okay. See, I couldn't tell if that was Falcons red or Cardinals red.
These are in alphabetical order.
Okay, so
by name. So, yeah, that's Mercedes-Benz. You can see the halo up there too.
I've been there. S tier. Yeah, great place to watch a football game.
I watched my team lose a Super Bowl there, so and then we destroyed the Falcons the next year, so that was fun.
Yeah.
All right, we've got MetLife up next.
C.
I don't believe this is going above B tier or C tier, honestly. C-tier. I think we'll be nice and put it on C tier, but it's not great. Nissan Stadium for the Titans.
I don't know. It feels like a soccer stadium that actually you play football there. Like, it's a good stadium, but I've never felt like, you talk to a Titans fan. I don't think the Titans home field advantage exists. Like, I just don't. Like, I think it's a fine stadium, but it's almost, to me, it's, when we talk about Arizona, I'll continue this, but I think it's like a solid generic stadium, but it's nothing special. I would say probably B tier.
Yeah, I think B tier is the best placement for that. And I think the same kind of goes, next up we have Energy Stadium. I think the same kind of goes there, like, for the Texans.
It's like a good stadium, but do you recognize it as like Texans? No. Like, Lambeau, you recognize as Packers. Soldier Field, you recognize as Bears.
People just look at the stadium and I would imagine they get angry about how they didn't just renovate the Astrodome and use that, and they just built the place right next to the Astrodome. I think B tier, C tier would be good for this.
Yeah, I think B is fine.
I'm going B. Paul Brown Stadium for the Bengals.
I don't know if this is because I haven't seen too many big games there, but I don't necessarily love the atmosphere. I would say B tier probably.
Yeah, I think it looks nice. I just don't love the atmosphere there too much. But it definitely,
when they get the home playoff game, when they have important home games, yeah, it's nice. But I don't know. And then we have
Ray J, as it was called. I think Raymond James gets an A tier. Honestly, like,
I think it's fine. I might go B tier. They're okay. There are cannons. A tier.
I think yes.
Pirate ship. A tier.
I think that's that's why I put it low A tier, because they have like sort of like a display there too, like a pirate village or something going on there. They have the ship, they got the
Very
cannons.
cool. Okay, during the Super Bowl, were they allowed to do any of those?
I don't think they were. I think they said that
Okay.
they weren't allowed to set off the cannons at the Super Bowl. So,
And I would imagine if the Rams aren't going to win Sunday,
yes,
but
they are.
if
Yes, they
they
are.
were to
Screw
win,
you.
they wouldn't be allowed to do team specific things.
Yeah, I think
What if it was a Chargers Rams game? Would they be allowed to do team specific things?
So
there?
I read on Wikipedia that for the Super Bowl, the only advantage you get if you were to ever make the Super Bowl in your home stadium, the only advantage you get is you get to use your own locker room.
Okay.
And I think that would be the case here.
So like you don't Giants Jets Super Bowl at MetLife.
That would be a little crazy. I know for a fact at SoFi though that the Rams and the Chargers have their own locker rooms, so I'd imagine they would probably have that as their benefits, and I think the rest of it would go to whoever the home team is. SoFi Stadium is an S tier place, though. I think building wise, it's S tier.
Sure, but if you have the Chargers, you said the Chargers have their own locker room, yes?
Both teams have their own locker rooms.
So does that mean that, like, let's say it's Chargers Broncos? Do the Broncos go in the Rams locker room?
No, I think they have a separate third locker room for the visitors.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, cool.
So
sounds good to me.
Yeah. I haven't been inside yet. I've been outside. The place is gargantuan and it looks fantastic. Of course, the Oculus is beautiful.
For sure. Yeah, great place to. I think it's gonna be an awesome place to have a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's gonna look good.
Soldier Field.
Suck if the Niners play there, but it is what it is. Soldier Field. I don't want to hate on it, but it's too small for me.
Man, I think it's an S tier building. It's an S tier football atmosphere. But they have just demolished it in the last 20 years. So it used to be, I believe it used to be a UNESCO World Heritage Site, actually. Maybe not that high up, but it was like a marvel. It was a landmark. It was Lambeau. It's like the Chicago version of Lambeau Field. And now it's not.
Weren't there reports actually that the Bears were like looking into new sites too?
I think so.
I think there were talks about
I would
that.
go B tier. I think it's better than the bottom triumvirate of places, but I think it's B tier.
Yeah.
But it's iconic, but at the same time, it's losing a lot of its luster.
It is. It doesn't. It looks a lot more modernized than it should, I'll say. But like you look at stadiums like the LA Coliseum, for example, that place was not touched for like 90 plus years, and they finally renovated it, but a lot of it still kind of looks the same. So it doesn't have. It's not really missing that. It has that modern touch to it still, but at the same time, it feels mostly the same place. Like it still has a lot of the history there. You can still see the torch. You can still see like that end of the stadium just fine. So it's not like it's a huge deal.
So LA is hosting the 2028 Olympics, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are ceremonies going to be held at the Coliseum again?
I think they're actually planning on doing dual stadium format at both SoFi and the Coliseum. But I believe they're going to use. I don't see why they wouldn't use the torch at the Coliseum. And I know that soccer is going to be at SoFi. I don't know the rest.
Okay,
off the top of my head, at least.
Makes sense.
We're on to Arizona. We're on to State Farm Stadium.
So here's my issue with this one. It feels like a cool stadium, but a Madden generated stadium.
I see what you mean there.
It's kind of like a good stadium, but it doesn't feel. It feels like a stadium. It just feels like a generic stadium. It doesn't feel like I mentioned it earlier, like the Packers. It feels like it's the Packers stadium, or the Steelers. It feels like the Steelers stadium. The Bills. It feels like the Bills stadium. It just feels like State Farm Stadium. Or University of Phoenix Stadium, or whatever they named it before. Like
that was it. I think
it just. I don't know if it's just Cardinals fans, or I don't know if I just don't like the vibes I get from. I think it's just like a generic stadium almost. I think there's. I don't know what makes it super special. I think there's a lot of cool things. Like
what makes it special is like the fact that you can pull the grass in and out of it.
Yeah. Okay, that's very cool. I agree. Yeah. So I think it's like an A or a B tier, but I think it's like so generic.
I'd go B tier, honestly.
Yeah. So I think it's very much like Houston. It's very much like Tennessee.
It falls within that same vein of like it just feels like just
it's
a
like a
generic
good stadium.
That's not
But
bad.
when the competition is Lambeau Field, then we have issues.
Exactly.
It's also like Ford Field. I think there's very much a generic feel that it's like, okay, we have a dome in Detroit. Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
Yeah. What is this next? This is TIAA Bank Field, home of the Jaguars.
I might go B or C tier here.
Yeah.
The
I'd
best
go
part
B
about the
tier.
stadium is Jackson DeVille.
Yeah. It's not like bad, but it's just not. It's never really stood out to me before.
U.S. Bank is an S.
U.S. Bank is an S. I don't think there's too much
It's
needs
gorgeous.
to be said about that. I thought the Super Bowl that they played there was awesome. The atmosphere. I've seen like people. Somebody filmed like the Vikings entrance against the Saints, and I literally got chills from that. That was the Minneapolis Miracle game. Yeah. That was cool to see. So
we're gonna get a lot of hate for this because I called a lot of stadiums generic. But I think I defended it because, like, I'm not saying Titans fans suck because Titans fans are perfectly fine. But I am saying that I do believe that it's almost like they have a soccer stadium that they're hosting NFL games. It doesn't, like, the main attraction with Lambeau Field is the Packers. The main attraction with Nissan Stadium doesn't feel like it's the Titans. Same thing with Houston. Same thing with Arizona. It just feels like you made a stadium in Madden.
Honestly,
it doesn't have character.
Yeah.
Like I think Heinz Field has character. I think like Ray J has character. I think all the S tier ones have character. Arrowhead has character. Like
SoFi has character, but I feel I kind of get that same vibe a little bit about it too, because it's like the main attraction is just entertainment for me. Like there have been a billion concerts here since they first started allowing fans in there. And you've got there was a college game that they made for it called the LA Bowl. There was the Super Bowl is going to be played here in a couple of weeks. You've got the college football national championship is going to be played here next year. But then it's just like concerts, a bunch of other stuff, maybe soccer during the Olympics. I mentioned that's going to be a thing there. There was rugby at one point. Obviously, the main attraction is going to be football, but it just feels like they're doing a lot more at this stadium than just football. But I mean, again, you have to think about the market. It's LA, of course, like you're going to get a bunch of entertainment there. But in terms of stadium / building wise, that place is fantastic. I can't wait to go inside for the first time. So
agree. I think it's great. I would love to be able to travel. It would be so cool. Like, you know how Zach's going to the Senior Bowl? It'd be cool if Nick and Frankie could pull some strings and one of us could end up at the Super Bowl. Because you live in the Los Angeles area, right?
I do.
So you technically could buy tickets.
I could if I wanted to spend like my family's half of their life savings. So
yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Imagine being like, you could just write that off as a business expense.
Just going to the Super Bowl, no big deal.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sure that's how. I'm sure that's how a lot of like people that work for ESPN, ESPN probably writes it off as a business expense.
Probably.
Like, oh yeah, we have 200 people going to the Super Bowl. That might be $1 million. Okay, that's a business expense, folks. Oh, that'd be nice. Because I'm worried about like when I get my StatHead subscription or when I get my MLB TV subscription. I'm thinking about that one. Like that's, I don't know, $80 a piece. Okay, well, I can deduct that's a business expense because I write baseball articles, right, or football articles. You know, like that. I think that should be counted as a business expense. Hey, it did come full circle. We did have a financial segment to the afternoon. I forgot what I was. My original. Did. What was the thing I was saying earlier? Oh, my stocks. My stocks have been absolutely disastrous the last month or so. Like I started with like $50 in principal. And then at one point last year it was over 150, which is great. My money was tripling. And now my money is, I'm like $90. Like if I check, I'm going to check Robinhood right now. This is a live reaction. This is a live genuine reaction.
Slashes stocks right now, guys.
Okay. We have Robinhood. Okay, cool. I've gotten some bad notifications the last couple days. Okay. Snapchat is down Snapchat is down 40% this month. Okay, that one is annoying. Okay, I'm down to $97. I was down 3% today. 15% the past week, or 13% the past week. 24% the past month. 23 point something the last 3 months. Get it together, economy. I don't want to lose money. I want to get a job in a couple days. I want to get an email from Duffel, the place I applied for out here. I'm going to manifest this. In the coming days, I'm going to get an email from Duffel saying that I have a job. Awesome. My stocks are going to go up. My bets this weekend are going to go up. I promise I'm not going to bet against the Rams. I'm going to do I usually do prop bets more than, because I don't know where the value is with the Rams Niners. I'm sure that a little bit of value is on the Rams because the Rams lost the first 2 times they played. So the numbers can be a little bit skewed towards the Niners, but who knows? So
that's the joy of football.
It is the joy of football.
Never know.
So, Jack, earlier in the show, you mentioned the CBS newsletter. I heard through the grapevine, aka my telephone, that the U Stadium has a newsletter. How might our fans get the newsletter?
There is a link somewhere. I don't know where, but we will find it and get it to you guys where you can subscribe to said newsletter called the U Stadium Weekly. Comes out every Monday. We pretty much, it's like if you want to read all the news and stuff like that instead of just us talking about it, you can go ahead and do that. We pretty much just talk about the biggest and most important stuff of the week. We talk about takes on there as well, so that's always fun. And if you submit takes to U Stadium, you can have a chance to be featured on there. So
yes. I think I've been featured before. I wonder, I've never been with this U Stadium company, ironically enough, but yeah, dope newsletter. Jack does a great job with it every single Monday. I finally got it out of my spam folder.
I'm getting it in like my promotions folder. I need to get it out of there. I was getting it in my primary.
It's good. It's good. It's super in there. Make sure also I will have a video up tomorrow on the YouTube. It may or may not involve the Baltimore Ravens, but you're gonna want to watch it. Friday we have the return of Jake and I doing the Full Court Trap episode 2. We might have a Sonny Carton show coming up soon. I am looking desperately for MLB guys to join, NFL draft guys, college football guys. Zach is going to be down in Mobile next week for the Senior Bowl. That is going to be awesome. We're going to have a ton of Senior Bowl content. We might get some interviews. We might get some players on the show. Maybe not our show, but actually,
that'd be cool if we could get that set up.
Maybe we could get Zach and Kingsley Enigbare, the South Carolina edge. I'm just throwing out a name, or like Cameron Dicker, the Texas kicker.
I love how that rhymes.
Yeah. Or Gus Johnson. Yeah. So like Zach's gonna be down in Mobile. That's gonna be awesome. Spring training, hopefully it's gonna be around the corner. Baseball, I think they're slowly making progress.
They are. They're talking about
slowly but surely. Sure. Jack, I'm gonna let the world know. I talked to Frankie last night, or was it Tuesday? I talked to Frankie. We had an idea. I had an idea. Was this? Stop me if we talked about this on the show or on the call that we had. Saturday before the Super Bowl, I'm going to open up StreamYard, and we're going to have people call in and give us their Super Bowl predictions.
Didn't hear about this one.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
So Frankie called me afterwards. So we had this, like, okay, what if I just open up StreamYard? It's kind of like a Vox Pop situation that we just promote the living heck out of the StreamYard link, send it out to people on Twitter, send it out to people on Instagram, send it out to people like in the newsletter, have a special Saturday edition of the newsletter and say, hey, one of us is going to be hosting for a couple hours, or maybe we rotate. Maybe like I'm on for an hour, you're on for an hour, Henry's on for an hour, Frankie's on for an hour, whatever. And we get everyone in the U Stadium community to come on and give us their pick for the Super Bowl, give us who wins the Super Bowl MVP, winner gets surprised or something. I think that's a great idea.
we are doing football night with U Stadium for the Super Bowl, and it's going to be
Oh
big.
my goodness.
It is going to be big. We're going to go
That
all
is
in
going
on
to be
that one.
legend. Wait for it, Derry.
Yeah,
We're also going to be doing
absolutely.
it Sunday, I believe, for the Rams game. It'd be awfully ironic if we did it for the Chiefs Bengals game.
You got to do the Rams game for my reaction. Simply, the reaction.
The 49ers are going to the eighth? I think their 8th Super Bowl in franchise history.
That happens while I'm just like, my head is down.
It's like they do it on like the last play, or like Stafford throws a pick 6 with like 2 seconds left or something.
I had a moment of slamming my headphones down and just walking away. So I was that'll probably happen again. I'll probably turn the camera off. And
what do you think? What is the worst way to lose a football game? Would it be like a last-second field goal, or would it be like a Minneapolis Miracle kind of thing?
I think a Minneapolis Miracle kind of thing, like a walk-off touchdown, is the worst way to lose a game, because even with like a last-second field goal, or like
the Chiefs or the
like
Bills, the Gabriel Davis touchdown.
Something, yeah.
Like at least that you have like 13 seconds left. Or I was in the building for the Tyler Boyd touchdown against the Ravens. Like we had 40 seconds to score. It's just Joe Flacco.
Yeah, it's just like if you get blown out, you at least know it's coming. So it's like, okay, well, we're probably not going to win this game. Or if like the field goal happens, like it just got set up, and it's like,
there's
now
a chance they might make.
There's a chance they might make it. There's a chance they might miss. So there's just a lot of but
then like a last second touchdown, like a
Minneapolis Miracle. If you're a Saints fan, you're like, the Saints are winning this game. Just one more play, and then suddenly, boom, it's
like
over. Just
even
like that.
if you would have to deal with the Minnesota kicker. Like at the very worst, you're thinking, okay, they're going to get a big completion. Minnesota kicker. Okay, we have a shot. But then Marcus Williams, or was it PJ Williams? I think it was Marcus Williams.
It was Marcus Williams.
Okay, here we go. Marcus Williams should come to the Ravens. You don't have to tackle here because we suck at tackling.
There you go. That's your pitch right there, Marcus.
Yeah, there we go. That's my pitch. Marcus Williams, come to Baltimore. You don't have to tackle here either.
I'm going to slow things down before we wrap up. We probably should not go off the air without mentioning this. Today is unfortunately a pretty tragic anniversary because we lost Kobe 2 years ago today. It does not hurt any less, honestly. It's pretty brutal.
For sure.
What he did, I don't think I need to like launch into a whole like, what he did. He changed the game, because we already know.
5-time NBA champion, Olympic gold medalist, one of the greatest scorers ever, a great guy.
I think that takes precedent above all, is that he was just like a fantastic
family guy, great dad to Gigi, and I think he had 3 kids. Was it 3 kids?
I think he had 3, yeah.
Yeah. A great husband to Vanessa. Great filmmaker, won an Oscar, ironically enough. Good friend to a lot of players and a lot of people, not just NBA players.
For sure.
So yeah, it's been 2 years and
still missing you, buddy.
Yeah. So.
All right.
I still follow him. Well, my Instagram got hacked, but I still follow him on Instagram, and it's just sometimes it doesn't feel real. Sometimes you think like, oh, hey, we're going to have an NBA Finals game and Kobe's going to do a segment. Or it's like, I feel that way about a lot of players, actually.
Yeah, it's like he did commentary for 2K, I think, a couple years, and it's like I like turned the game volume off completely because I was like, I can't listen to the commentary. So it hurts, but we miss him, and what he did for the world will never be forgotten.
So rest in peace, Mamba.
For sure.
So
all right, guys.
With that said, I don't feel like doing the whole upbeat like stuff, but
like and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Ring the notification bell. And Aaron Donald trains with knives. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys Tuesday. It'll be February.